Hey everybody, welcome to What the Flick. The Flash, Season 1, Episode 20. These network shows are killing me.
Well, oh, yeah. You don't want to watch more of a really good show. That would suck.
It's just, you know, this is...
This guy's used to cable, so he's
used
like,
to, yeah,
everything's got to be BBC. It's the fall. It's 6 episodes a year, and that's too much.
I want eight episodes of True Detective, and we're out. All right, Episode 20, The Trap, Alonso, Duralde, William Bibbiani. Let's take a quick look.
When I face off against the man in yellow, I won't make the same mistake twice.
We have changed the past.
Joe, I'm gonna save my mom.
Time is an extremely fragile construct. How many more people could die if your mother lives?
This is why you became the Flash, to put things right.
Barry, we have talked about this.
I know, and I'm done talking. You're not gonna pay for another man's crime. He's the man that killed my mother.
I know what you're thinking.
Do you?
We need your help.
We have the technology.
The Atom lives.
Take your last breath.
I'm the queen of this hive. I'll show you what it means to be stung.
Bees. Why did it have to be bees?
If I didn't know any better, I think that you were hiding something from me.
No help here.
What the frack?
What do Dr. Wells and the Reverse Flash have to do with each other?
They're the same person.
Anybody that knows about this is in a hell of a lot of danger.
I warned you not to mess with the timeline.
Hello, Cisco. I don't know anything anymore, especially who I can and can't trust.
The real end game is almost here. This is gonna be fun.
You can't stop me, Flash.
And you never will.
I love that early on we get Cisco with that line about, oh yeah, we should change the costume. Wait, am I changing the costume because I saw that picture? Because the whole rest of this episode is like, let's fuck with the timeline, you know?
It is. Well, it's let's fuck with the timeline, but it's also just like, let's just get it over with. Like, let's get this whole Harrison Wells thing
Well,
out
sure, yeah,
and let's move on.
that's being resolved. But I just mean in terms of we're now getting into the dense thicket of time travel and who was where when and who looped back to do what. And
But it is the first part of it where they get into Eobard Thawne's, room full of magical time traveling mysteries.
Yes, the time vault.
The time vault. I think the only thing I really learned from that, other than I guess I'm not sure if I remember seeing Iris's byline before. Maybe I did. Maybe I didn't.
think that's new.
Yeah, was that Barry invented Gideon or like helped invent Gideon. Yeah. So that's sort of just like, oh, that's cute. I didn't see that coming. That's a wrinkle, but
I guess he's less of a dipshit than he appears to be now.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. Apparently, in this alternate timeline, Barry became the Flash later on. He wasn't really super young version of the Flash.
And Fawn had to speed it up, if you feel part of the expression.
Yes, exactly.
I did not do that on purpose.
Yeah, you
anyway,
did.
No, that's you.
Let me have it.
So anyway, a lot of things going down in this episode.
A lot of things going on in this episode. One thing I like in this episode, because the whole thing is, okay, well, all right, so we know he's the Reverse Flash, but we have to get him to confess to Barry's dad's murder.
Barry's mom's murder.
Barry's dad's framing.
Yes, right.
All this stuff. And I like that their plan is let's just do what worked last time.
Right.
I always see that
having learned nothing from the Iris debacle of that not working out the same way twice.
That's true, but it was just in terms of how to get his reaction to it, but fair enough. I don't know. It always bothers me when I see like in a comic book, like a supervillain has like a pretty solid plan to take over the world, and the Avengers punch him in the face, and he never tries it again. Like you still have that like death ray, like use that death ray again. What's wrong with this?
Get it out of mothballs.
So this is sort of the reverse version of that, where it's like Cisco got him to reveal himself one way. Why not try it again? Why break? If it ain't broke,
sure.
Just kill Cisco. Yeah, no, I don't even know, I don't know. I feel like a lot of this episode is just basically like, oh good, we can move on. And we're going to have like a bunch of kick-ass stuff in the future. The one thing for me that I was just sort of like, was poor Eddie.
Yeah, well,
He even went to the trouble of asking for her father's, permission, which is just a lie. I don't. Why you gotta be so rude? It's just like I'm gonna marry her anyway.
Right,
marry that girl. I'm gonna marry her anyway.
But if her dad is your cop partner, you know, you at least have that conversation as a courtesy, you know.
Yeah, but you don't. I'm just saying.
Not that getting the no is going to stop him.
You shouldn't frame it as I would like your permission to marry your daughter. Just be like, incidentally, I'm going to marry your daughter. You should probably know that ahead.
Yeah, maybe putting it in the form of a question was not the best idea.
It was interesting to see an episode of The Flash that didn't try to shoehorn in a B villain.
Yeah, that's true. They actually, there was enough stuff on the table with the regulars that was enough to kind of keep things happening. And you're right, they could have gone that way and they didn't. I was a little, what was the thing that, so now Iris knows that Barry's the Flash because of lightning?
Because it was a static electricity thing. It's a bit thin, I think. And especially considering we only just saw it this episode.
Yeah.
This little flashback thing where he was unconscious and, a little bit of static electricity.
Right.
Oh,
Right.
And then it's like, a little bit of static electricity.
Yeah, I walked across the carpet. I'm the Flash, you know.
I mean, here's the thing, maybe if it had looked different, like, you know, because every time you see like a static shock in a movie, which doesn't look like anything, you know, it looks like a little, you know, little blue, little tiny piece of lighting. If it looked red, maybe, it might have signified like, that's different. That's a very unique sensation. He just made her tingle in a very particular way.
There's an energy signature.
Yeah,
exactly. The kind
exactly.
of verbiage they would use on this
Something
show.
like that. Something like that.
But yeah, I am all for, like, you know, getting things on the table. It took us 20 episodes to get here, but now everybody knows everything to some extent or other, you know.
Right. Well, I mean, like, you know, I'm still reeling from the era of television when stuff like this could be pushed for seasons.
True.
You know, like Lost would have milked this for forever.
Yeah.
You know, like or on soap operas, people would keep one secret for a year, and I'm like, that's 5 episodes a week. It was insane. So you know, so I feel like we've built up to something. It came about in an unexpected way. I liked when he just walked through the force field. And there was a part of me that was like, the force field that's designed to keep all speedsters out. A part of me was like, oh yeah, what if he just doesn't use his super speed and walks through it? But then I realized it's every man. So I'm not sure if that's actually like a gimmick or not.
Okay, here's something else that maybe I'm being dense, but why could Barry catch all the bullets except for the last one that kills the guy who winds up being the you know, shape-shifting dude?
I think it just reached the force field before the others.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that was the implication I got, but it's also just a little convenient, I feel.
A little bit.
Well, or rather inconvenient for Barry, I suppose.
Yeah.
I want to say we had, I also host a show on the internet called Most Craved, and we had Liam McIntyre, who plays the Weather Wizard,
Right.
On that show this week. And we did ask about the super jail toilet situation, and his theory was that Barry just cleans it all up real fast. And it's the worst part of his job. Which I rather liked, actually.
Always read the fine print.
Always read that fine print.
So next week, finally Grodd.
It looks like finally Grodd. It's amazing there are episodes left between this and the season finale. It's amazing that we have other stuff to do.
Yeah,
it feels like we're really ramping it up.
This was like your sort of in current TV terms is kind of your classic next to last episode of a season.
Everything crescendos.
Yeah, reveal and stuff, and then we kind of follow it up a bit and see how it reverberates, and then boom, you know.
Yeah, I feel kind of bad. I don't have like as much maybe analysis or about this episode. I feel like this is just a really solid putting all the pieces in place, so we can move into our end game in the finale, and it works. It functions. They were able to get a little playful with it. They had a couple of surprises. I'm excited. I can't wait for Barry's costume to look more like it's supposed to, and Bossasaur. Let's do it.
By the rules of this show, do we think that if the Reverse Flash is a direct descendant of Eddie, if Eddie dies, then he'll never be born?
Here's the question: is he a direct descendant, or is he maybe Eddie's like nephew?
No, well that's the thing. We don't know yet. They've been very coy about that, but that's why I phrased it that way. If it turns out that he is actually,
I don't know. Like I'm trying to remember, and again, it could change for the movies and TV series. I'm trying to remember what the DC Universe's time travel rules were. The Marvel Universe, the rules were anytime you go back in time, it creates an alternate reality that offshoots, and therefore everything you do is actually totally fine and not messing with the time stream.
Sure.
But I'm not sure what the DC rules are. That I do remember that messing with the time stream did result in revamping all of reality, which I still think is something they could do. Like if Eddie dies and Reverse Flash never happens, it could just completely destroy everything and Barry winds up in an alternate dimension or something. Well, I think that would be a fun storyline to explore.
We have seen, the show's already given us some minor alternate timelines, you know, the tsunami episode and whatever. So
well, that's more like a future that didn't happen. I'm talking about like an alternate timeline in which Cisco is a supervillain, and Caitlin
gotcha.
is like a femme fatale, and
They've all got goatees.
yes, exactly.
Gotcha.
Iris has a beautiful goatee. Beautiful goatee.
So yeah, so 3 episodes left. We'll see where they take this thing, and we hope you'll join us next time.